The airport was loud with motion, yet empty of meaning, a place where thousands of people passed each other without ever truly seeing one another. Flights were delayed, announcements echoed endlessly, and the glow of departure boards reflected off tired faces. In the middle of it all sat a man in a tailored suit, shoulders slumped, eyes hollow, surrounded by luxury but completely alone. He had built empires, commanded boardrooms, and controlled numbers that could bend markets, yet in that moment he felt utterly lost. That was when a small voice, gentle and unafraid, broke through the noise and asked a question so simple it felt dangerous. "Are you lost too, mister?" And in that instant, something inside him cracked wide open. Before the story goes any further, pause for just a moment. If you believe in kindness quests, in second chances, and in the quiet moments that change lives forever, please like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this matter because people like you believe they do. The man's name was Jonathan Reeves, a CEO whose name carried weight across the United States and beyond. His company dominated headlines, his decisions shaped thousands of jobs, and his calendar was booked years in advance. Yet none of that mattered in the silent ache that followed him everywhere. Jonathan had grown up in a Christian household where faith meant humility and service, but somewhere along the road to success, those lessons had been buried beneath ambition. His marriage collapsed quietly under the pressure of long absences. His only son stopped returning calls years ago. Achievements kept stacking up, but fulfillment never arrived. Jonathan was at the airport because he no longer knew where else to go. His meeting had been canceled, his private jet delayed by weather, and for the first time in decades, he had nowhere urgent to be. He sat there scrolling through emails that felt meaningless, feeling smaller with every passing minute. Around him were families, children laughing, couples arguing softly, strangers sharing snacks. Life was happening everywhere except inside him. The little girl who approached him was named Lily Carter. She was 7 years old, traveled with her mother, who sat nearby exhausted from juggling bags and paperwork. Lily had bright eyes that still believed the world was mostly good. She noticed Jonathan not because of his suit or watch, but because he looked sad in a way adults often try to hide. Children sense these things without effort. When she asked her question, she did not mean directions. She meant something deeper, something adults rarely dare to say aloud. Jonathan looked at her, startled not by the words, but by the honesty behind them. He saw no judgment in her face, only curiosity and concern. He realized how long it had been since anyone had spoken to him without wanting something. Her question landed where years of advice and therapy never could. It forced him to confront the truth he had avoided. He was lost, not geographically, but spiritually, emotionally, humanly. Lily did not wait for reassurance or explanation. She simply sat beside him, swinging her feet, content with presence alone. Jonathan felt something unfamiliar settle in his chest. Stillness. Safety. He watched her mother from afar, warm but loving, doing her best. The scene reminded him of his own childhood, when his mother used to hold his hand in church and tell him that God never forgot where his children were, even when they forgot themselves. Time moved strangely in that small shared space. Jonathan missed his boarding call without caring. He listened as Lily spoke about simple things, school, her favorite colors, how airports made people look like ants from above. None of it was profound, yet all of it felt like medicine. He realized how starved he had been for genuine connection. Not applause, not respect, just presence. As Lily's mother finally gathered their belongings, thanking Jonathan politely, something inside him resisted letting the moment end unchanged. He felt an urge not to impress, but to give something real. He offered to help them navigate their delay, using his influence quietly to ensure they were comfortable, not because he was powerful, but because it felt right. Lily smiled as if this had been the obvious outcome all along. After they parted ways, Jonathan did not return to his old rhythm. He stayed seated long after, staring at the space where Lily had been. Her question replayed over and over, not accusing, just honest. "Are you lost too?" He thought of all the people he had passed without seeing, all the opportunities to be human he had traded for success. For the first time, he wondered if his wealth could be used not as armor, but as a bridge. In the weeks that followed, Jonathan began making changes no one expected. He reached out to his son without agenda, simply acknowledging his failures. He stepped down from daily operations, choosing mentorship over control. He funded programs for families in transit, airport shelters, and counseling services for overworked parents. He returned to church quietly, sitting in the back, listening instead of leading. None of this made headlines. That was the point. Jonathan never saw Lily again, but he thought of her often. He kept her question written on a small card in his wallet, a reminder that clarity sometimes comes from the smallest voices. He learned that being found was not about status or direction, but about allowing yourself to be seen. If this story is touching your heart, if it reminds you of a moment when kindness changed your path, please take a moment now. Like this video, share it with someone who may feel lost, and help this message reach further than it ever could alone. Years later, Jonathan would say that his greatest business lesson did not come from a boardroom, but from an airport bench. He understood then that life was not a race to arrive, but a journey to notice. That success without connection was just another form of being lost. And that sometimes God used the smallest messengers to deliver the biggest truths. Just before the story ends, please leave a comment below and share what part of this journey moved you the most. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Because sometimes the question we fear most is the one that saves us. And sometimes being found begins the moment we admit that we are lost.